Hello and welcome in all you beauties who have decided to join me on a Tuesday for a live chat. Hello. Thank you very much for your flexibility this week. We do it a couple of times a year. I'm flying to Florida tomorrow. I'm not going to skip the live chat. I'm just going to do it a day early. So I'll be down at in Ponte Vedra for 2 weeks. Bay Hill, TPC Sawgrass, PGA Tour Live Golf Bet, which the Betcast, I saw that it starts at like 7:45 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. We are used to doing like 11 o'clock. This is our first time on the East Coast. Oh boy, we are in for it. But anyway, that'll be fun. Tune in for that. And I'll have some very early looks at TPC Sawgrass, obviously, because of me being down there. This next hour or so, not for me, it is for you. I will go through as many of these questions as I can, thoroughly, with logic and reason, and we will see what happens. So get your comments in right now, and we will let this rock. As those start to roll in, let me hit the couple of items that I like to hit before we start. First and foremost, not one, not two. No, I'm just kidding. It is just two. Contest live on Splash right now. Our weekly Arnold Palmer Invitational Tiers contest, that's already 40% full. At this point in the week, that seems like it's going to fill pretty early. $25,000 guaranteed, $25 an entry. Get your entries in sooner rather than later. And then that one on the right here below me, where I'm pointing, that is kind of my favorite contest. That's the 3 and done for the players in the majors. 3 golfers for each one of those events, 15 golfers in total. Lasts you basically the whole year, $125,000 guaranteed. Can I click this? Let's see. 15K for first, 12K for second, 10K for third, and then payouts for the top finishers at each one of the 5 events. That's a very fun one. It is very fun. Links are in the description. I owe Windy an apology. This is on me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I should probably just not even bring this up. But last week I sat here and I went to Weather Underground and I was like, oh my God, look at that wind coming in on Thursday. That's crazy, right? Like, wow, let me check. Oh, let me check Windy. And Windy didn't have anything. Do you guys remember that? Yeah. My bad. I had it set on knots instead of miles per hour. Someone emailed me, thankfully, because I never would have figured that out, and was like, Rick, hate to tell you this, you're an idiot. And I said, I know. So my bad. I switched it to miles per hour and it was identical to what Weather Underground said. So I have got the miles per hour loaded in right now. Windy, that's my fault. Let's look at the forecast for this week. So we've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What you are going to see right about, can I do this? Right about here. Thursday mid-morning, the wind is really going to start to kick. Sustained winds of 7 to 9 miles an hour with gusts from 19 to 21. That lasts for basically the majority of Thursday. Friday, same thing. Yeah, maybe a little bit earlier in the day, but winds from 7 to 10 miles an hour, gusts from 20 to 21. So because they're starting at the same time, if this forecast holds, which, you know, we're doing it a day earlier than normal, if this forecast holds, and it's the same wind direction throughout the entirety of the week, I don't see that being a particular issue. And because it's a small field in which there are not real waves, I do not think this is negatively, like, I don't think there's a wave to take advantage of here, right? It's not going to impact half the field. And it looks like it is going to not even change direction. It's just going to get windier as the day goes on. Florida, imagine that. All right. For the 1 and done, projected ownerships. We've been using the Pool Genius tool. Look at this. Look at this. They've got 5 golfers with 3 dots, which means between 8 and 14%. Scotty Scheffler, Matt Fitzpatrick, Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, Xander Schauffele. Wow. Okay. Colin Hideki in the next tier. Handful of guys after that. Am I a little surprised to see Scotty Scheffler be in that top tier? I am. I get it, obviously. I mean, you could play Scotty a lot of places. This is one of the bigger events. It's got a $4 million winner's share. He's won here twice, right? Twice? Once or twice? Twice, I think. I'm not surprised to see that. Not surprised to see Rory. Little surprised to see Tommy. Little surprised to see Fitzpatrick. Kind of a lot surprised to see Xander. We can talk throughout this. I'm sure we will. I already see the comments in there, but that's usually I like to think that I have a pretty good idea of what's going to pop up when I click this. Did not necessarily see 3 of those 5 names coming. Colin and Hideki. Yeah. I'm just going to tell you right now, and I'm going to look you in the eyes when I say it. Right or wrong, I have played Colin Morikawa in every single one of my one and done entries. I'm ready to be hurt. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but that is what I have done. All right, let's get after it. Which head-to-head matchup do you prefer between the following 2? Pearson versus Keegan or Morikawa versus Cantlay? The odds are included in there as well. Probably, well, first off, I like the Cootie Morikawa side of both of those. Cantlay's kind of sneaky. Probably Cootie. All right, let's get into this a little bit. So my website, rickrungood.com. Let's pull up Pearson Cootie. That's where you're going to see all these tools from. One of the best drivers of the ball on the tour. That's not an exaggeration. That's statistical. Picks up about a stroke per round in most scenarios, but he's very good in all the other categories as well. The ability to drive it here should come in handy. He played here 2 years ago, finished T14, and didn't even really hit his approach as well. He's doing much better in that category right now. So him over Keegan, who's kind of just all over the place, is the place to go. So who do you like for one and done to try to make up ground? If you think that 2 dots, 4 to 7% is enough to make up ground, which I think it is, I'm going with Colin. Let's just do the conversation really quickly so I don't have to do this every single time it comes up, because I've put Colin Morikawa in every single one of my one and done lineups. He is playing the best golf we have seen him play in multiple years. He is doing it the way that he wants to do it. Elite approach play, not very good putting, or at least 0 putting. Balls moving left to right. Excellent. Since he started doing that, he won and he finished T7, and he would have won at Riviera if he didn't completely just botch the first 5 holes on Saturday. Okay. Played good enough to win both of those events, both of those signature events. Now he's going to go to a golf course where he finished runner-up here last year. He is, and he lost strokes putting. He is going to, he is a guy who's going to benefit from playing out of the fairway as much as he does, but he's not going to drop down the board when he plays out of the rough. He is just as good rank-wise from the fairway as he is the rough. That's great. I also have no idea what the future holds for Colin Morikawa. What is he going to be like in a month? I have no idea. Is he someone I'm going to play at a major championship? Probably not. Is he someone that I'm looking to save for a specific spot later in the year, like Muirfield Village? Probably not. I can play Scotty there. So I don't need to save Colin, but I think he's got legit win-win upside. So that's what I've done. If you don't want Colin to make up ground, I love Hideki. I think Cam Young is pretty interesting. Those would be the 2 that I would focus on. Scotty, wow. Pool Genius recommends Scotty for one and done this week. The purse is similar to majors. Do you think it's due to his shorter field? Yeah, all of that. So Scotty's got like 9 places that you can play him. All of the big purse spots. I would rather be first or last with Scotty. Either play him now and take the $4 million first prize and the small field and the very small cut, or save him for the BMW Championship and get a $3.6 million first prize in a field that's even smaller with no cut. We don't know how he's going to be playing then, or anything else that's going to be going on. So you could argue that this is a good spot, but you could play him here, Muirfield Village, any one of the major championships. There's really probably no bad spot to play him other than where I played him last week or 2 weeks ago. Any strong opinions on Corey Connors? I don't think those exist. Here's the thing with Corey. and I was writing this up in my newsletter earlier, which I will send out tomorrow morning. I'm just putting the finishing touches on it. He has played here, I think, 5 times. He's got a bunch of top 20s, as you can imagine. He's got the 2 top 10s that are both top 5s, and he's got no wins, right? Which is just absolute vintage Corey Connors. The problem is that he just cannot putt, right? And the fact that he's lost strokes on approach in 3 straight worries me. He's lost from tee to green in 3 straight. The putter's a problem. He actually gained a half a stroke putting at Riviera and finished T37. If Corey Connors gains a half a stroke over 4 rounds putting anywhere, he should win the golf tournament. So it's tough to be super excited here. It depends on how you want to roll him out. Top 20, sure. Top 10, starting to get a little bit aggressive. Do I want to play him in one and done? Do I think he's going to win? No. Ludwig and Berger or Lowry and Sepp for DFS. Interesting. Lowry and Sepp, probably. Will Lowry's choke job seep into his play this week? I wish I could quantify the choke. I think he'll generally be fine, but that was not a very good situation. Let's talk strategy. Tiers contest. 50 entries based on money. No splash ownership data. Wanting to know the best way to analyze opponent selections from the start of the season and use that to my advantage. So, based on your own contests selection rates. So are you like, can you download it or something? Can you download the CSV or something? Trying to analyze opponent selections from the start of the season and use that. Oh, just to see who has who available. I don't know if I have enough information to answer this, but I would say if you have a way to make some little dashboard that shows you who ahead of you has used who, that would be very valuable. I'm not sure I understand the entirety of that question. What's your Masters number on Colin? I have to look. It feels like he's going to be the guy that fits all the Masters lead in form trends, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so if you guys missed out on this, I said I don't want to think about it, and I bet Colin Morikawa to win the Players. I bet him to win the Masters. I bet him to win the U.S. Open, and I will bet him to win this week. I'm sure I did not get the best number on him. Okay, 20-1. I imagine, there's not a lot of value in futures on Colin Morikawa, but I wanted to get something in. I gave myself a little bit of room for when he is inevitably like 35-1 a month from now. So I gave myself, or that week of reset that you get on in major championship weeks, like we're going to get that. There's like Circa's going to hang like a 35 on him or something like that. But I just wanted to get something in so that I don't have to like think about him for much of the rest of my life. But God, if he wins this week, I'd be so happy. I would be so happy. When he finishes T49, it's gonna be tough to come back from. P.S. Your Philly accent really comes out when you say Masters. Yeah, there's also a couple of other, when I say bad or bad, I guess people say that. I'm sure there's some other stuff. Deep dive on Sam Stevens. Can he win here? I don't want to pick on you, Jeff, because this, guys can't win until they do. But Sam Stevens winning. Does he even have a win? He's probably got at least one Korn Ferry Tour. I think he finished runner-up in Wichita recently. Does he have a win? Anywhere? Let's find out. It's going to take a second. I've got my screen recorder on. I'm running a bunch of... No wins anywhere. So can Sam Stevens win here? A guy who has never won on the Korn Ferry or the PGA Tour come to a signature event and win? I'm going to say no, which means we've got a win incoming. But I do like the way he's playing, right? So this is weird because like Jeff asked, can he win here? No. Can he have a great week? Yes. Right. So it's all about like the perception of what that frame of reference is. The tee to green numbers are fantastic, right? The results are okay. The tee to green numbers are really good. The putter's been hit or miss, but I tend to like that, right? So he goes, he loses 5 strokes putting at Pebble and gains 4 at Riviera. Just a quick 9-stroke difference in 2 weeks. I don't mind that one single bit. He played here last year, lost 3 strokes putting and finished T40. Not the end of the world. Okay. Because if we get that +4 week, which he's capable of doing, could be a pretty good one for him. So yeah, I think I think it's a good spot for him. I don't think he can win. What edges are you looking for when making a head-to-head bet? Are you basing it on form, course fit, course history? Any examples of matchups that you like this week for the API? A variety of things. All of that and then some, right? So for me, I use the head-to-head matchup tool quite a bit because it is a simulator, right? Simulates matchups for 2 or 3 rounds, or excuse me, for 2 or 3 players 10,000 times. I generally look for recent form and course fit over course history. I separate the difference between those two things. Then I also think that I have found that the outright number on some guys will work through the rest of their odds. So if you have a golfer who's 10 to 1 to win, he's going to be short in the top 5, top 10, top 20 market. He's going to be short in matchups, or might be a favorite in a lot of matchups or whatever, right? And he's going to be paired against specific golfers. So I think identifying the golfers that you are higher on than their outright number gives you a really good starting point for the matchup market, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps. I mean, I don't have all the matchups in front of me right now, but somebody like a Jake Knapp would probably be a pretty good situation. I would want to see who he's up against, but that would be a pretty good situation. If Chris Kirk's recent form had a movie title, what would it be? And why does that movie definitely end with him winning, with him holding the trophy on Sunday? All right, here's Chris Kirk, who I actually liked a lot last week, and that did not work itself out. Played well on Thursday, played really bad on Friday. So last 5, miscut, T52 miscut. The old and the restless is what it would be called. No, I'd be pretty surprised if he held the trophy on Sunday. Good history here. Not playing good golf. Just really not. Losing it off the tee, losing it at the putter. Yeah, not very good. Any concerns with Bridgman regressing this week? Well, I think it's less psychological and more just he's just going to regress, right? Even if he gains 5 or 6 strokes on approach again, which is probably unlikely. The two starts that he just had, I think, were the 2 best approach weeks he's ever had. No, I'm sorry. It was the 2nd and 4th best approach weeks he's ever had. And then you combine that with his 4th best putting week ever. And he's already had his, 6th best putting week ever. There's definitely regression coming. Jacob Bridgman, I actually love his game, is not a top 5 player in the world. That's fair. So I don't think the Bridgman regression is coming from like a psychological thing. I think it's coming from he's going to come back down to earth at some point. And it still might be really good, right? He might end up being a stroke per round guy, a stroke and a quarter per round guy. That's all very, very good. Him destroying a field at a signature event feels a little bit different than that. Is there any data to suggest that players regress after a win? Obviously, Scotty would be excluded. I would have to run it. I would imagine you'd get a lot of really noisy data, right? Guys that won once. And how would you determine whether the result after the win was because it was a hangover, bad play, bad course, just a bad random start? Is Casey Jarvis the next GOAT of golf? No, but he has won back-to-back weeks on the DP World Tour. I like his game. He's young. He's a great player, but no. I mean, we see guys. Garrick Higo won back-to-back weeks on the DP World Tour. Is he the GOAT of golf? I think Christian Bezuidenhout did it. I think he's a very talented player. Good on him for winning back-to-back weeks, but this is not a good spot. Or I'm sorry, he is not he's not going to be the next greatest thing. I'd like to see a little bit more. Potgieter. I like being early on Potgieter. Talked about it in the Monday preview. He's down 35 pounds. He looks great. The shots that he hit around Riviera, not just the off the tee numbers in which he's going to gain a stroke per round, but my God, the way that this guy can hit these big, massive irons, long irons even, that drop straight down from the clouds. And then he's picked up strokes putting in each of his last two. And then he's going to a golf course that, while he missed the cut last year, is probably a really good spot for him. You know, long rough, hit it far, hit it hard, bring it in high, firm, fast greens. I think Pocketter's in an excellent spot. And I actually think a lot of the stuff, I think we're entering a new phase of Pocketter with the body change and all that. I don't really care much about what he's done before this year, really. I think we really might be entering like a little bit of a different era. Tiers group tourney with 16 guys. I'm thinking of these 6. Scotty, Knapp, Bridgman, Connors, Hisatsune, Glover. Ooh. I'm generally okay with this. The Glover one has me a little bit worried. Why not? I don't know if he's actually in tier 6, but what about somebody else who's very, very cheap? What about Pocketter? What about Smotherman? What about probably those two. I'd probably even go Joel Damon over Lucas Glover. I'd actually probably even go Michael Kim over Lucas Glover. Glover would probably be my 5th option. That's the only one I'm worried about. Scotty, Noren, and Rio versus Tommy, Fitz, and Mitchell. Scotty, Noren, Rio, Tommy. It's Tommy, Fitz, Mitchell. I don't love it, but I think that's the side. Are we overlooking Rio Hisatsune? Or as they say on the broadcast, Hisatsune. However, I have on pretty good authority that it's Hisatsune. So what do I say? Do I bend the knee? I don't know. I think this is a prime spot for him. So always been a great tee to green player and has done nothing short of that in 2026. The big change is that he started to putt well. He's working with Stephen Sweeney now, has started to putt well. He got smoked at Riv. Lost strokes all 4 days, lost like 6 strokes putting. Ball striking was still really good. West Coast Poana, I'm quick to forgive. I know he putted well at Pebble. I know he putted well at Torrey, but I'm usually pretty quick to forgive. There's a lot of value here if he putts to a 0. If he adds 1 or adds 2, I think there's a lot of upside in this game. He's very, very cheap. Akshay, for me, is one of my favorite sleepers. He is very good on long approaches. He hits it quite high. The tee to green numbers have been a lot better. The putting has been a lot better. He's got 3 straight top 16 finishes, and 2 of them are top 6s. I love Akshay this week. I'm going to Myrtle Beach for the first time. Are you familiar with courses there? God, it's been so long. I have not been to Myrtle Beach in a long time. I'm not familiar. We used to go to Virginia Beach a lot too, but you know what? I'm well out of that loop. Somebody in the chat will help you. All right. Paul gets us with our first model request. Let's see what we got, Paul. So this is Paul. This is the custom model, rickrungood.com. Paul is going to run his own model using the last 24 rounds. I guess technically I'm going to run it for Paul because Paul clearly doesn't have a Rick Run Good account. That's okay, Paul. All right. He says 20 on course history, 20 on driving accuracy, 15 on strokes gained approach, 15 on scrambling, 15 on putting. Oh, and the 15 dealer's choice. That's me. High apex. Paul's number 1 golfer. Paul. Ricky Fowler. Scotty Scheffler, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, Kurt Kitayama, Rory McIlroy, Hideki Matsuyama, Victor Hovland, Adam Scott, Robert McIntyre. It's not bad. Speaking of, can we talk about Adam Scott? Surprisingly average course history, but his off-the-tee and approach numbers look great this year. Oh, then it says subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, actually, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Like 50% of you are not subscribed. That's crazy town. Goes a long way for me. Yeah, he's been really good ball striking. Really, really good. That dates back a year. What's he been doing here? Nothing? Oof. Why? Why has he lost strokes on approach in 5 out of 6? Why? I honestly don't know what to do with that. I would be 7,800, 10.8%. I think he's going to be fine. I like Adam Scott. I have no idea why he cannot figure this place out. Just on approaches, really. No, I don't know about that. Hey, Rick, I've always been curious. Does a tee shot of a drivable par 4 count towards off the tee or approach off the tee? And if you don't hit the green, would that be your second shot? Oh, there's a yardage distance that it turns from approach to around the green. I think it's 40 yards or 30 yards or something like that. If you remember, Bryson screwed this up. I'm trying to remember how in Detroit one year. So he was hitting his drive so close to the green that his second shots were being graded as around the green. No. I can't remember. One or the other, but they fixed it. They had to go back and fix it. It's like 30 yards or 40 yards. Anything inside of that is generally treated as a around the green shot. I've already used Rory at the Genesis. Could I use Scotty here or should I save him for the major? You can use Scotty here if you want. I would say don't play him in a major. You're going to get some other fields that are half the size and bigger purses. Either play him here or play him at the BMW Championship. Looking forward to the betcast this week. Thank you. We're on early this week. Favorite pivots. I'm in the upper studio this week, so I'm not on the couch this week or next week, but I will be doing kind of bigger segments from the upper studio. All right. My favorite pivots are Hideki in the 9K range, 12%. So that would be down from 24% of Matt Fitzpatrick. The 8K range, I still think we're close to getting a Ben Griffin breakout. If you're not comfortable with that, and you're trying to pivot off of Jake Knapp, Victor would probably be okay. 19 to 11. If you want to go Lowry to Fowler, that would give you a little bit of, give you about 5%. The 7K range, J-Day, 5%. McNeely popped up really well in the tournament predictor. He's like 5%. And then Rio's 5% off of Ryan Fox at 9. Wow, 6% on Sungjae feels a touch aggressive. Does it not? First start back. I did. You 100% had the Betcast couch locked down, and that pillow felt like every victim of Bret Hart's Figure 4. Yeah, the pillows, they end up becoming collateral damage. Have we gone to sleep on Ludwig this week? I don't think so. He hasn't been that good. The floor has been really low. The ceiling's been reasonably high, but he's only hit that ceiling round 3 at Pebble. A lot of inconsistencies throughout the bag. Every time I see him, I swear he's missing a short putt. Let me pull him up on the radar real quick. I want to see how he's compared to previous. I mean, club speed is down 2 miles an hour from last year. Ball speed's down 3 miles an hour. Carries down. Still early for that. Yeah, this is okay. The longer irons, he's still very good with the wedges. The longer irons haven't been very good. Let me look at the putting real quick. Yeah, this is what I've been seeing. He's missing a ton of short putts. 82% from 3 to 5 feet, 61% from 5 to 7, 50% from 7 to 9. That's about right on. Yeah, I don't know anything. Something feels off about this. I wonder if, do you remember when he actually had an injury and he refused to say anything about it? I wonder if he's got like something nagging. It just doesn't feel right. Everything, club speed and ball speed being down, I don't like that. Actually, I will say this, since, I mean, I don't want to pick on Ludwig. Victor's club speed and ball speed are way down. And I don't know what that is about. 113 mile an hour club speed, down from 118 a couple years ago, and down every year since then. Ball speed's down, carries down. I wonder if that is protecting the neck. You know, the neck that he pulled out of the Ryder Cup with? I don't know. That stuff like that that worries me. If I had used Rory this week or next week, or saving him for Quail, what's the order? Probably this week, next week, Quail. How close is Sepp? I think pretty close. Let's see about this week. The thing about Sepp is that he's a very fast bounce backer. You know, he can have these weeks where he looks garbage, and then the next start he looks like he's back. So I don't worry about that too much. When he's got it going on, he's one of the best. He's one of the best players out here. Loved what he did here last year, approach and putting. Yeah, I think he's fine. I'll finish off that deep dive of Victor. Right. So the speeds, that's one thing. Let's just look at the stats and the results here, because the approach numbers are still really good. Now, the numbers I showed you, like ball speed, club speed, that's driver. I do wonder if that's kind of something different, but he's been absolutely just knocking the paint off the ball. I mean, his approach numbers are awesome. He's been tinkering that new driver, seems to be working okay. The putter is still kind of a problem. He tried to change grips. That didn't go particularly well. Like a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I'm very familiar with the the Lotto shop there at the border. Spark notes on Cam Young. Yeah, the spark notes are giddy up. Good course for him. Love the way he finished at Riv last 3 rounds. We were waiting in 2026 for him to look like the version of himself that he looked like at the end of 2025, and I think we found it. My betting card, admittedly, I have not. I mean, it's Tuesday. We're a day earlier and I'm packing and all that stuff. So I have not made a bet yet. But I will tell you, it will be Colin at 27. Colin at 27, Hideki at 35. And then a lot of finishing positions. I don't love building a huge card without Scotty and without Rory in the outright market, but I will have a ton of finishing positions in the Jake Knapp, Ricky Fowler, Maverick McNeely, Nikolai Højgaard. Honestly, Corey Connors probably. Ryan Fox, World, those guys. Don't bet what I bet. Go bet whatever you want to bet, but it'll look something like that. So the tournament predictor, Yeah, let me pull this up. So this has been very good this year. And I, you know, sometimes it makes me scratch my head, some like it did last week, and sometimes it makes a lot of sense. Last week was 1, Nico Echeverria, 2, Shane Lowry. They each had, I think, 5% of the win share. This simulates the golf tournament 10,000 times. I just published the results, right? I don't, I obviously built the model, but when I see the results, I don't put my finger on the scale, right? I don't look at this and say, wow, this is weird. Let me go make adjustments. I just like, that's kind of the point, right? I just post it. So, I mean, Scotty, massive win share. Rory second, Russell Henley being third. So the things that would stand out to me are Russell Henley being third, Maverick McNeely being fifth, Straka, J-Day being up there. Like, those are the things that would stand out to me. You can look at it and see, you can start to see why it likes some guys over others. And this is just win percentage, right? Like, it loves Tommy in the top 20 market, in the top 10 market, for example, but he doesn't win enough of the simulations. So that's why his win percentage is down there. So the one that stands out to me is McNeely. McNeely and Henley are the two that stand out to me as like well above where you would think they'd be. I'm feeling bullish on Taylor Moore. I without pulling up this profile, I do not think you should be feeling bullish on Taylor Moore. I think it was all short game, like all of it. T2 last week, 6 around the green, 4 with the putter, half a stroke off the tee, 1 on approach. So that's not bad, but the best short game week of his life, losing strokes on approach in, what is that, 6 out of 8? Driver's not particular. This just smells like there is regression coming. It just reeks of it. Cut, 62nd, 56th, 49th runner up. He's going to get a much more difficult field. What's he going to do? Gain another 11 strokes in the short game categories? It hasn't really ever been that good here. I'm sorry, Jackson. I do not love this. It says, do you like Morikawa this week? Any concerns with the chipping around Bay Hill for him? Yes. I have a lot of concerns around Morikawa. I just think there is enough to offset that. The thick rough, I think, is better for him than tight lies. Bunkers, he's very good out of. Of course, I have a concern. He worries me more than any top player in the world. I just think there is a lot of positive to offset that. I'm going to lump some of these questions together because I do see there are a few here. Let me do Kitayama and Minwoo. I think Kitayama, and I don't know if he still is, but for the longest time, he was, upper right-hand quadrant of the breakouts candidate tool. Looking at a golfer's tee to green play and their, getting back to their putting mean. So I opened it up. I just randomly opened it up a little bit more. 44 rounds is what I dropped it on. He's still in that upper right-hand quadrant. 36 upper right-hand quadrant. 24. Where'd you go, Kurt? Oh, God. Where are you, Kurt? Are you hiding behind somebody else? Oh, man. Sometimes they hide on me. Where the hell is he? I don't know. Anyway. I really want to find him, though. Anyway, so that's generally where I see Kurt Kitayama popping up. And it's because his tee to green play is so strong. We just saw, he has not really slowed down. I mean, he won the 3M Open, has a bunch of good results after that. He only has one event in which he lost strokes from tee to green since then. It was at Pebble Beach. The putter's been good recently. I think it's a very good spot for Kurt. Minwoo was the other one. It's nice to see him put like 2 starts together. I still think he's pretty volatile. I'm happy to see that he's starting to match tee to green and putting. Very high risk, very high reward. How low of ownership would Scotty have to be for you to play him? Balance seems like the better DFS strategy this week. Like 20% would make me like have to jam him into everything. I went with Colin. So I'm picking Colin over Tommy, but too decent. I think you can save Tommy for a lot of places. Did the Pock Eater? Who gets a win this season? Who gets a win first this season, McNeely or Cootie? McNeely's probably had much better chances. I'm going to go Cootie. Talks a lot about Rio. I like Sudarshan Yelamaraju in Puerto Rico. Let's do the Corey Connors. Last thing here on Corey Connors. So everybody in this field, min 10 starts dating back, I don't know, 2023, just the PGA Tour. Corey Connors is here. 44% top 20 rate. That's very high in this field. Top 10 rate, I think he gets even better, doesn't he? 25%, pretty damn good in this field. Minuscule win rate, obviously. Doesn't miss any cuts. Tiny little missed cut rate. You know, he misses the same number of cuts as Tommy Fleetwood, but he makes 1/4 of the top 5s. And Tommy's not even a prolific winner on tour. So it's weird. So yeah, that along with the good history makes me think he's pretty safe. I just don't think he's going to win. So if you're asking about like a safe, comfortable situation, Corey Connors would definitely fit that mold. Oh, luckily they have all the liquids you could possibly imagine in this studio. It's unbelievable. They've got cold brew, they've got hot, they've got, what do you want, Celsius or Red Bull or Coca-Cola. So I usually start, I do the coffee, dropping those coffees back. Then I switch to Coke Zero, which I'm completely addicted on. They have one of those machines where you can do like a little vanilla in the Coke Zero. It's just crazy. Keegan's been a huge disappointment in 2026, which I think, listen, let me pat myself on the back. I think we all kind of thought was coming, right? I mean, last year he was carried at every event. Captain Keegan, USA, blah, blah, blah. And there were definitely some things in his metrics that were like, maybe this ain't great. Loses the Ryder Cup and, hasn't really played that well since. I mean, he's 39 years old. He's outside of his prime. He does not have that outside influence coming for him. And I think some of the father time, mother nature things are starting to come through. I don't think he's going to turn it around this week. Can you run a model based on what you learned? Okay, so I'm going to load the Monday model, which was this one. Okay. Let me refresh myself on what I did. Approach last 36. Okay. Distance and total driving. I might switch some of that to accuracy. Strokes gained par 5s. I'm sick. Why did I do that? Course history Bay Hill. What was I doing? All right. So I don't know. Here's what I'll do. I do like the par 5 thing. So I'm going to put it at 10. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the approaches. I'm going to put that 10 on some of these longer approach shots. Then what I'll do is I'm going to move a little bit of that. I'm going to move that entire driving. All right. I'm going to move the entire driving distance to driving accuracy because I do also have total driving. I'm going to take down 25 from strokes gained Bay Hill. That was stupid. And I'm going to do club speed for 15 or for 10 and high apex for 5. Let's see what that does. Oh, I should have wrote down who the top 10 was before that. But it's Scotty again. Fitzy, Rory, Colin, Tommy, Adam Scott, Siwoo, Victor Hovland, Shane Lowry, Kurt Kitayama. This doesn't really help if I don't know what my other results were. I think Victor dropped out. I'm going to pull it up on YouTube. This is Inception. I'm going to my own YouTube channel to click on the preview from earlier to go to the end results. All right. It was Scotty, Rory, Victor, Colin, and now it is Scotty, Fitz, Rory, Colin. So Fitz goes from 7 to 2. Oh God. Then it was Kitayama, Xander, Xander, Fitzpatrick, Minwoo, Adam Scott, and now it is Adam Scott, Siwoo, Victor, Shane Lowry, Kitayama. So a little shuffling here and there. I don't know why that was so hard for my brain to figure out. My two favorite players in the 6K range are probably Ryan Fox and Ryo Hisatsune. I think that's pretty clear. And Potgieter and Smotherman. Sorry, that's 4. Fox and Rio. But damn, do I want to get Potgieter in there. So those two, then Potgieter by himself, then Smotherman. Yeah, honestly, we have not done a Scotty Scheffler deep dive in quite some time. Here's what I'm concerned about. I am a little concerned that he's lost. Well, he lost a stroke on approach at Riv, and he only gained a stroke on approach at Pebble, and he only gained a stroke or a half a stroke in 2 rounds at PGA West. So I am concerned that in 3 of his last 4 starts, it hasn't really been a lot of great approach play. That's it. That takes him from being a 100 out of 100 to a 99.9 out of 100 because the rest of his game is still fantastic. And despite shooting himself in the foot on every Thursday for the last 3 Thursdays, he's been basically the best player in the field every other day. So the tiniest of concerns is what I have. If you look at his radar stuff, just to be fair about this, let's look and see if there are any advanced things. So club speed, technically it is down from 2023, but it's up from last year. Oops, hold on. Why can't I get... Oh, maybe he doesn't have enough to qualify. Stand by. Hold on a second. I'm going to try something. Might not have enough shots to qualify for this yet. Why are his drives not coming through? But his approaches for 2026 are... Maybe he... Oh, I'm going to have to do this off air. Crap. All right. Well, that would have been good. I mean, look at these putts, man. He's making so many 10 to 15 footers. God, he's so good from 7 to 9 feet now. Still pretty bad from 5 feet in, but Shout out to Rick for keeping his listeners league with the minimum administrative overhead. Other creators take commissioners' rewards, which sees a percent return to the creator. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I just say, like, what's the lowest possible rate you could give us and make sure you guarantee it. So appreciate you guys. My favorite better than even money bet this week. Rory top 10, including ties, is minus 106. That feels right. We could do Jordan Spieth. I don't think we've done the Spieth dive yet, have we? I'm going to try to look at this objectively. Let's just look at the numbers and see what's going on. Oh, good Lord. What happened? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm going to look at this objectively. But he is so frustrating, isn't he? Off the tee, he's losing in 4 out of 5. So all those gains from last year and the year before, I don't know what happened because they're not here so far. Approach play has been average to below average since the Open Championship last year, and he's absolutely putting the lights out. Yikes. This is this just screams regression, doesn't it? Doesn't it? He's lost the driver. The approach play is not very good, and he's picked up 12 strokes putting in his last 8 rounds. God, that's not great. Look, top 3 plays under 7,100. So it's those guys from the 6K range that I mentioned earlier. But let's just see if there's anybody at 71 or 7,000. I mean, Sam Stevens was okay, but I still think it's those other guys. There is optimism around what I'm seeing from Brooks. The putter needs to come around, which it did at the Cognizant. He used that spider, which, by the way, all right, I have zero affiliation with TaylorMade, though I would love to. I think I was like, I got to get one of these spiders and see what the hell's going on. So I bought a used one. I actually bought it off Second Swing because I wanted it to be the correct length for me. All that, like, I wanted to pick it all out. I wanted to double bend. I was going to do a custom spider, but the lead time's like May. I'm like, what the I got to play golf with that. So it's the blacked out. I think it's the blacked out spider, has that long line on it. Holy crap. This thing's kind of a cheat code. The weight in the back rolls it really well. I like that light feel, kind of feels a little hollow. I like that. Every putter, so I don't know if you guys, like when you look down at the putter and you bring it back, a lot of times I go like away from my body. I get offline that way and I have to work really hard to bring it straight back and straight through. This thing just, doop, 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 doop. It's so easy. I get it. It lays flat perfectly. I love it. I love it. I wish I was getting paid to say that. I'm not. I love it. Anyway, he's gone to the spider, so that's encouraging. The approach play has been very good since the DP World Tour, since the run in France in September. So it was just cleaning that part up. So like, can he ever find that magic again? Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it was a weaker field, but we're trending in a very good direction here. If you're Brooksy. Tom says, to me, this course usually produces top tier winners. Due for a regression of average odds winner, which is currently 5,600 or something like that. Only in 9K range that can win is Colin and Fitz. So it's them, Scotty, Rory, and Tommy can win, is what Tom says. So he's saying that 5 guys can win. I hope you're right. Yeah, this is an event that, I mean, Kurt Kitayama won it, but I get what you're saying. Yes. It's a big boy spot. Are we going to get Augusta course key stats or no? I saw someone asked on the member Discord, and if not, how would you figure those out? It's too long to answer here, but in short, it's just a lot of different things, right? The data doesn't come from the tour. It's not a tour event. So there's different, you can do the shot, but it just takes more time. So I'm hopeful to have something. I'm not really ready to commit to anything yet, but I will do my best, obviously. The Discord, which I screwed up the link in the email newsletter last week. There should be a link in the description to get into the Discord if you guys want to get in. We got like 850 people. It's been going great. It's been open for a couple weeks. If you're a Rick Run Good member, you can get access to the members channels, but you have to go through, so rickrungood.com, go to the My Account page. There's a little button in there that says like connect to Discord. So you have to connect your Rick Run Good account with your Discord account, and then that gives you access to those. But if you're not a Rick Run Good member, you can just pop up. 17th in the segment with 2 to go. Oh, 12 and 16 ahead of me used Colin. I will use him in the next 2 as a shot to leapfrog. What spot do you prefer? Here. Yeah. Yeah. Glad you joined the fellows on the BetCast couch a few weeks back. Thank you. Yes, that's fun to be on the couch. We rotate through, right? So it's the coach, it's Matt Every, Graham Dillette, Michael Collins, Jeff Eisenband, Steve Scott, myself, a couple of guys from the golf bet. So I was on the couch last week. This week and next week, I'm in, they call it Studio 2D, where like sometimes I get to stand in front of like I get to play like Steve Kanaki or whatever his name is. And like, it's fun. So I'm not on as much, but like, I feel like my segments are quite impactful. Rick, have you heard the story about Pat Mayo skipping the line to get into a club because the bouncer thought he was you? I have heard that. Pat told me that, I think, in person once. I saw that he tweeted it out. I had forgotten about it because I think he told me about it a couple of years ago. But yeah, that's crazy. Longest odds guy that will make the cut. It's a pretty small cut. It could be no, there could be a no cut, right? If everybody's within 10 shots. So Michael Kim, who's played well here last year. If that's a little bit too risky, Joel Damon's been hitting it well. If he plays out of the fairway, I think he'll make the cut. You could have no cut. I tend to agree with this. Basically saying, Ryan basically saying it's a good week for Fitzy and a good week for Fowler. Agreed. Bridgman projected ownership. I've got him as of right now at 11%. Everyone's favorite segment of what's Ryan Gerard been up to? Hold on, let me do this on the right screen here. Ryan Gerard. It's so annoying. So he had one bad round last week. He's had like one bad round this year. Played great the rest of the week. He's a lot cheaper now than he was last week. I'll convince myself to get back in on this. I mean, there's a huge difference from being 10,200 and being 7,200. Still gained 9 strokes from tee to green in his last 2 starts that were pretty subpar for him. And that's with a really bad Thursday round at COG and a really bad Thursday, Friday at Riv. I'm a sucker. Couple questions in a row for Joel. Should Joel skip the SIG and go win in Puerto Rico? No. No freaking chance. You know how much money and points are in signature events? that are basically free because there's no cut. No chance he should do that. If Joel plays out of the fairway, which he often does, then I think this is a pretty good spot for him. I don't think long courses are overly detrimental for him because, you know, Torrey Pines, he finished 7th there. But again, he has to play out of the fairway. Did a good job last week at the COG. I don't know why I keep calling it that. I think this is a decent spot for him. So this is what I always think is fun. Is it a bad idea to unleash Rory and Scotty the next 2 weeks to try to win this segment as I'm in top 25? God, I wish you were higher because there's really no guarantee you. Well, I mean, if those guys win, you're going to win the segment. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you could argue you could use those guys the next 2 weeks anyway, even no matter what your position is, because if you snap off and grab $8.5 million, it's good no matter what position you're in. So yeah, I don't know. Like there could be guys in the top 25 who also do that. I mean, you're not going off the grid here, but they might go. Would you go Rory Scotty or Scotty Rory? They might go. God, you could make the case. I mean, they've both been so good in both places. Maybe it doesn't matter. But you might not be the only one in the top 25 who does that. But at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter either. Yeah, do it. I think you probably should. We've learned that there are no bad courses for Chris Gotterup. What is the average winning score? It depends a lot on the golf course. So I send out a newsletter every week, which if you're not signed up, it's literally 100% free. I send it out on Wednesday mornings. There's a link in the description to sign up. I am putting it together now. I always include the optimal lineup from the week before. So it's not necessarily the winning lineup. It's the best possible lineup you could have made. 663 last week. It is highly dependent on scoring. So American Express, it was probably like 750. The US Open is probably going to be like 500, right? It's just completely dependent on scoring. Please explain to me why NBC Broadcast was adding a letter to Castillo's last name, pronouncing it Castillo. Why? Question mark, question mark, question mark. That is the way he wants it pronounced. I know it's weird. I know you're looking at it and saying it's Castillo. I know that's what you're saying. But when a player comes to you and says, I want it pronounced Castillo, because that's the way my grandmother pronounces it, and it's from this region of wherever we're from, you do that. And they have updated the PGA Tour pronunciation guide to be Castillo. So NBC, as much as I loved it, as much as I would love to nail them on this one, they're absolutely right. They're absolutely doing the right thing. He wants to be called Ricky Castillo. It's not a mistake. If you play this course, Rick, what would you shoot? 3 over? Yeah, then I'd go to the second hole. I mean, I'm a 5 handicap. So in tournament conditions, I think I'd be thrilled to break 100, right? I mean, there's a calculator for that, but yeah. Appreciate that. What are your thoughts on mini drivers, and do players who use them have an advantage this week? Why? Maybe I'm missing something. Why would they have an advantage? Because they can hit it a little bit farther than the 3 would, and maybe just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the implication is there. I like a mini driver. I used to have one in my bag for a long time. Thank you. Dude, I got absolutely Screwed in that damn underdog round one. I'm just thinking about one team in particular. I had like a 250 point lead going into the Cognizant. I'm demolishing them. I have Goddard up. I have Bridgman. I think I have Gerard. I'm crushing them. I finish in second by like 12 points. I only score 100 for the week, while the guy in second scores 300 and something because I only have two guys playing. And that is with Bridgman and Ben Griffin both WDing before the event started. So now I'm down to two guys. I just like... Yo. How am I going to get to South Carolina? You're not supposed to bet what I bet. That's against the rules. How deeply should I look into the results of the Seminole Pro member? 0. Rick Run Good is my username, like everywhere. My game has been stuck at a 5. I am working between instructors. Yes, a couple. I've got a new pitching and chipping thing that I'm working on, which is working out well. I am starting to see improvements, but I honestly have not played a lot this year. Being on the road as much as the early part of the year is really, I haven't played as much golf as I would like. Wyatt got a little unlucky actually. So the APGA event that was at Torrey Pines the week before the Farmers gave an exemption into the Farmers for the winner. He finished second, which stinks because that would have gotten him a PGA Tour start. Played in Ponte Vedra. There was an APGA event in Ponte Vedra last week or the week before. I think he finished middle of the pack. I think there's an event coming up in San Antonio this week that he's in. Just got to get, it's so hard with like the there are only 2 rounds, which is, you just have to sprint so much. And it's just like, you've got to be perfect to win one of those things, even if they are small fields. I've answered a lot of these questions. In on Akshay. Yeah, I've answered a lot of these. Interesting. I've never heard of a Palmer water. Vodka on the rocks with a lemon twist. No, I'm an Arnold. I'm a John Daly guy. It says, why do you like Colin here more than the players? Admittedly, because that's farther away and I don't know. Like right now, I know the state of Colin's game. I don't know what it's going to be next week. He has had some, to me, Sawgrass is another step up in volatility where you could have a really good week, really bad week. I think, the fact that there is, I don't want to say no cut, but basically no cut, smaller field, payday that's very similar. I just think this is a pretty good spot for him. Over under on 3 pounds of hair gel. Under, but it's close. I mean, look, it's a lot. It's not a gel. It's more of like a pomade. I get it from the UK. I've been using I'm very loyal to the same brand. It's called Hair Bond. But yes, there's a ton of product in my hair. Oh, salam, Hubi. I would like to get a cost benefit analysis for playing Rory in a non-major for one and done. All right. So majors, big fields, big paydays. and he's going to be pretty popular. So playing him in a non-major would be your options being this week, next week. Quail is I got to look this up because I keep saying this. I don't know why my brain cannot remember if that event is a signature event this year. The other thing is, we have Doral on the schedule. Okay, it is a signature event. So you're going to get Rory in like 1, 2. So Truist, Cadillac, Bay Hill, at least 3 70-person fields where 2 of them will not have a cut for a first prize that is at courses that he has destroyed or should destroy Doral for either 3.6 or $4 million. It almost seems logical. It almost seems logical to use your best players as signature events than it does for major championships. Hideki versus Henley. Ooh, it's very tight. What are you doing? What do you it depends on what this is for. Outright, probably Hideki. It's close, but it depends on what this is. Outright is probably Hideki. Something where you need a little bit more consistency is probably Henley. One and done is probably Hideki. You need all the money. Why do players who struggle off the tee consistently while using the driver not choose to hit a lesser club to put them in even more advantageous spots? Because the data shows that being far and inaccurate is better. It's going to be tough, even if you are in the fairway, to be playing from farther away is a big disadvantage. So now if you're giving up 20 yards off your tee shot, you're giving up 20 yards on your approach shot. And that just compounds. So what's worse, being 20 yards farther away on your second shot or 30 feet wider proximity on your approach shot, right? For your third. Probably take the distance. So that is why, that's why they do it. That's why they do it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to shut it down. I got to go grab a little lunch and get situated. We are doing the second cut today. So that's Mark Immelman and I, Greg Ducharme and I. We're going to do storylines, best bets, one and done, have that conversation. And that'll start at, I think we're going at 5:30 Eastern on the Second Cut YouTube channel. Otherwise, links for everything you could possibly need are in the description. I appreciate all of you very much. I have to shut this down myself now, and I'm going to do that in just 1 second when I figure out how to do it. And here I go. Goodbye.